Hello, everybody. Dragonfire here, and I'm coming at you with another one of my videos. This time, I am talking about an artist, a musical artist, and his backup band that are, in my opinion, so underappreciated. I don't find many videos on um, this band out there on the internet. A lot of music channels that I follow haven't really done much or covered this artist, and I think that that is a shame because I really appreciate this artist. And I am talking about none other than George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Okay, so um, let me just say here that I love this band. I'm going to pull up their first CD here, their first album. Wasn't originally released on CDs before CDs were invented, but their first album. And that's George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Now, um, this album, released in 1977, uh, was, I believe, originally released under the name George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. Um, that was originally the name of the band, but um, early on they dropped the Delaware part maybe to have a more universal appeal. But George Thorogood and the Destroyers never never lost their Delaware roots. They mention it in some of their songs, including on this um, original album with the song Delaware Slide. And George Thorogood and the Destroyers, I just really think, are an underrated band. Now, most people, if they're not familiar with this band, will probably just know them from their uh, big hit song, Bad to the Bone, but they just have a lot more to offer than that, and that's why I wanted to do a video. One of the reasons I wanted to do a video on them, because I really just feel that they have a lot more to offer than just their one big hit song that probably everyone knows them for. Um, uh, but this is a fantastic album. This is their first album. I wish I had all their albums. I'll tell you, I don't have all their albums right now, but I've been collecting for a few years now, and just more and more, if I come across the George Thorogood CD or cassette tape or whatever, as long as it's at a decent price, I will go ahead and pick it up because I've just really been enjoying getting into George Thorogood and Destroyers, whether it's a vinyl CD or cassette tape. I do have, I think, one album on vinyl, as well as two on cassette tape, but I'm showing off my CDs today. Um, uh, and all the ones I have on vinyl or cassette tape, I also have on CD. But yeah, this is their first album, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, just a self-titled album. But I really like Madison Blues, and One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer is one of my all-time favorites. Recently found out that it's a cover, at least the main part of it is a cover, but um, George Thorogood adds some verses to the beginning of the song and really makes it his own. Um, but fantastic song. Ride On Josephine is another one that I really like from this album. So yeah, first album right off the bat, one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. Ride On Josephine and Madison Blues are the strongest tracks on these, so check out some of those tracks, and you'll get an idea of what George Thorogood and the Destroyers is all about. Some blues, straight ahead rock and roll. Some songs a little bluesy, some songs straight ahead rock and roll. I have to say that there are a few songs in the George Thorogood catalog that sometimes he goes super hard into the blues, and it's just really not for me. But for the most part, I'd say like 90% of his songs at least are songs that I really enjoy and really like. Just every once in a while, maybe one song per album or something, um, might might not be my cup of tea or something, but it's still really good stuff. All right, so this is his second album, Move It On Over, and the title track on this one, Move It On Over, is just a fantastic song. Also, I like Who Do You Love, The Sky Is Crying, Cocaine Blues. Yeah, this is a really solid album, and you can see the track listing there. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then this is of course, the album and the song that made him famous. This is Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And uh, the Bad to the Bone song itself is, of course, his biggest hit, and everyone has heard it. Now, on the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round to gaze in a wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up. She said, "Leave this one alone." She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone. Bad, 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 bad to the bone. Yeah. This one's also got Back to Winsville. Like that one. Um, Wanted Man. Wanted Man in Mississippi. Wanted Man in San Antonio. Yeah, Wanted Man is a great good song. He also does a cover of No Particular Place to Go. In a number of his albums, he'll cover an old blues song or maybe an old like 50s or 60s rock and roll song, and does a pretty good job with them. So yeah, this is his 1982 album. Like I said, I don't have all of them, but I do have the first two albums, and I think there might be one or two in between the second album and Bad to the Bone. Okay, moving on to his 1985 album, Maverick. This one's got Gear Jammer, I Drink Alone, Willie and the Hand Jive, um, Memphis Marie. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Again, just a very, very good uh, song, or very good album. Here, Maverick, of course, it also has a title track. It has a song called Maverick. Okay, and this is his first live album release. Um, Thorogood Live. Um, Man, he just playing these songs live. He's got Who Do You Love, Bottom of the Sea, I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer, Madison Blues, Bad to the Bone, The Sky is Crying, Reelin' and a Rockin'. This is a fantastic, fantastic live album. It sounds so good live. Some uh, bands and artists and so forth um, are, may be great studio artists but aren't necessarily good live. But George Thorogood and the Destroyers kill it live. Really enjoy their live stuff, and fun, and you can tell just by listening to him and his interaction with the audience and stuff that he knows how to work a live crowd, and just some really good stuff here. Okay. And next up is Born to Be Bad. Now, this is my favorite album, my favorite full length studio album from George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Born to Be Bad. I love this album. 10 tracks of all killer, no filler. Um, yeah, I love this entire thing. Shake Your Moneymaker. You Talk Too Much. Highway 49. Born to Be Bad. Born to Be Bad, the song itself, I think, is, you could say, a prequel to the song Bad to the Bone. But excellent stuff. Yeah. Um, You Can't Catch Me. I'm Ready. Treat Her Right. I Really Like Girls. Smokestack Lightning. And I'm Moving On. Yeah. I just can't say enough good things about this one. I own this one on cassette tape as well as on vinyl. And of course, here's my CD copy. Okay. Uh, Thorogood Live came out in 86, Bad to the Bone in 88. This is Boogie People from 91, so now we're in the 90s. Um, yeah. Uh, the first track on here, If You Don't Start Drinking, I'm Gonna Leave, um, is one of my favorite tracks of his. He, he's he's got some interesting stuff on here. The title track, Boogie People, is also pretty good. But yeah, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Boogie People. Boogie Boogie. Okay? And it's got the very baddest of George Thorogood and the Destroyers here. This was, I believe, the second ever attempt at a greatest hits album put out um, by George and the band. Um, this is definitely the more popular of, probably the most popular one ever released by them. Um, there are so many copies of this out there. This one sold really well. And sometimes you can find it used. Just because there were so many copies out there, you can find a used copy really good. I also have this one on cassette. But Bad to the Bone, Move It On Over, I'm a Steady Rolling Man, You Talk Too Much, Who Do You Love, Gear Jammer, I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer. If You Don't Start Drinking, I'm Gonna Leave. Treat Her Right, Long Gone, and Louis DeFrisco. Man, what a fantastic listen this is. Great stuff here from George Thorogood and the Destroyers. The very baddest, or the baddest of George Thorogood and the Destroyers. The baddest. It's bad to be good, or it's good to be bad. Anyway, after that one, next one here, I'm going chronologically through all the ones that I own. I don't own every album he's ever done, but I'm going chronological. I remember um, this was when I was just a kid before I really, really got into George Thorogood and the Destroyers. My brother getting this CD here, and I remember his copy, like my copy, had the green spine, um, and the album art just rubbed me the wrong way the first time I saw it. I was like, what is that? Before I even read, down there where it says George Thorogood and the Destroyers, I'm like, haircut, what is that? It's so weird that the animated album cover, even the back, is again kind of strange. But once I, saw George Thorogood and the Destroyers, oh, that's, you know, guys who do Bad to the Bone and Born to Be Bad and all that stuff, so it's like, I think I was already familiar with uh, the the greatest hits collection as well as the Born to Be Bad album. So um, I was like, man, okay, that's kind of cool. Another album from George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Um, this one has got Get a Haircut, which is basically the title track for the album. Um, it's got Cops and Robbers, I'm Ready, um, My Friend Robert. Yeah, this one's not bad. Um, really. And actually, Get a Haircut off this album, Haircut, has become one of my favorite songs of his. I just absolutely love Get a Haircut. Um, just, yeah, really good stuff. Okay, then we got his next live album to come out here. So Haircut was 93. This next live album came out in 95. It's the second live album he's ever done, or second one to be released. Um, he covers No Particular Place to Go on this one, Right on Josephine, If You Don't Start Drinking, Cocaine Blues is a song that I really enjoy. Um, Get a Haircuts on this one. He Talk Too Much. He does a cover of Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good. Um, yeah, and it's pretty really good live album here. Okay, then we're now in 97 and Rockin' My Life Away. So this is 20 years after the debut, and he's just still rocking his life away. You gotta hand it to him. Um, yeah, Living with the Shades Pulled Down, I think might be my favorite song off this one, but there's also Rock and Roll Man, Hangover Blues. Um, but yeah, just some good stuff from Rocking My Life Away by George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And this Live in 99 album. Now, this concert was recorded towards the beginning of the year, and they were able to get the album out before the year ended. So it actually came out in 99, and it's from a concert in 99. And even at the end of the 90s, sounds great live. For a band that put out their first album in the 70s, they sound great live even in the very end of the 90s. Um, uh, you know, this one has, again, Who Do You Love? I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer, Get a Haircut, Bad to the Bone, Move It On Over, You Talk Too Much. So it's playing a lot of his greatest hits live. But yeah, um, really good stuff there. Okay. Then this one is Half Boy, Half Man. Also came out in 99. This is his official studio album for the year. Um, just um, is still rocking. Um, Hellbound Train, uh, uh, kind of like on this one, Bebop Grandpa, Big Time. Yeah, it's got some decent tracks on it. So they're in 99. And then now this is a compilation that came out in 2000, and it is extended versions. Now, if you're not familiar with these, they did them for a number of different bands and musical artists. These extended version releases where um, a lot of them come from, some of them are live tracks that would come from live and concert performances, or some of them might be studio tracks where the guys were just kind of messing around or whatever, but they're longer versions of some songs that you'd probably be familiar with if you followed a particular band. That's why they're called extended cuts. And um, I think this is, yeah, extended cuts. The Encore Collection might be the name of the series. But uh, what they're doing with these is they're taking these tracks and they're just giving like these longer versions. So um, if you don't really like listening to the radio where they try to get everything down to like 3 minutes or 3 minutes and some change on a lot of songs, and they speed them up or they do whatever, the cut parts or whatever to get them down to for radio play. um, and you just want to hear like guys go off and do a big solo, in George Thorogood's work, sometimes he'll do saxophone solos or harmonica solos or big guitar solos, drum solos, whatever. Um, and you hear some of that in their live performances of these different songs. So, um, yeah, you can just check out these. And again, these are just longer versions of some of their best hits. It's got Bad to the Bone, Move It On Over, Get a Haircut, I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer. Great stuff. This is another uh, greatest hits collection, and this is again, this is one for maybe you don't want to buy the individual albums. The greatest hits collections are good for that if you just want to, have it in your collection. Um, and get the most popular songs or whatever, and do that. This, though, is a two-disc version, um, so it gives you a little bit more than you would just get for a one-disc greatest hits set. This is a two-disc selection here, disc one and two. Got some good stuff here. And like I said, I am missing some of the albums. I don't have all the albums, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. I have a few here and a few there. So I know he put out more that I don't have. So these greatest hits collections sometimes give you a chance to get a song or two that maybe from an album that you don't own. And now we're making it to 2003 with Ride Till I Die. And yeah, he never wants to slow down. American Made, of course, not to be confused with the theme song that Hogan used in WCW. Not that American Made, but still good song. Um, what was the one I was listening to the other day? Oh, the title track, Ride Till I Die. Yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff on here. Um, Sweet Little Lady is pretty good, Muddy Water. So check out Ride Till I Die from George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And this is the most recent one that I have gotten here. This is from 2008. Um, the Hard Stuff. So yeah, I love George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and you might think, well, 2008, the 70s, 80s, 90s, were they really any good in 2008? This is now, you know, this is just a little over 30 years, 31 years after the debut album, right? Well, let me tell you, this album kicks butt. The title track, Hard Stuff, is just fantastic. Um, I like Rock Party. I like Taking Care of Business. Yeah. Uh, this Cool It is another one that I've enjoyed from this album. And it's good stuff. Just trying to pick out a few tracks to recommend there, but the whole album is actually really good. So yeah, um, check out George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Um, all right, thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Have a great day. Dragonfire out.